Hi guys. I'm doing this video for Kat. Kat was talking about witchcraft and a little bit of black magic, and I thought I would toss my hat in the ring, get a couple of videos started and just see how they go. So here we go. So Kat has been talking a lot about how there are no real shortcuts to black magic, and how stuff has to be done properly, and or you won't be protected, or things won't go right. For speaking from experience, she's very right. She's very right. But also you have to take into consideration for different aspects of what kind of magic you practice. Like, I do know there are some Wiccans, more Wiccans nowadays, the new age of Wiccans, the teen Wiccans and young adult ones. They feel that the do as you will and harm none part, they feel like that should just go out the window. And I know that if you talk to a lot of people that get very interested in magic, they're interested for four reasons: money, love, power, or revenge. It's just, and so my real reason for throwing my hat in the ring is because I wanted to give my opinion on, are there real shortcuts to magic. And so, oh no, you can see the reflection. My bathroom is clean. It's kind of my job to clean it. So yeah. But my real thinking on it is there can be shortcuts. I mean, it depends on what you're taking time to do. Like, if you're gonna go, I don't know, like substituting herbs. Like, let's say you don't have an herb that you need for a spell, but you have an herb that has the same properties as a spell. That's a shortcut. I mean, because you don't waste time going out and buying new herbs. Or let's say that you need to use a certain color candle, but you don't have that candle. Instead, you use a white candle. That's a shortcut. I'm gonna shortcut a doll, and what I did was instead of going out and using clay, because the way I was taught to make a doll was that you get clay from what was it? I'd have to look back in my notebook because I took notes over it, but but you have to go get clay from I think it was a mud chimney in the bayou or something like that, and you would have to make the doll with something that they've owned, or like a piece of hair or something. It was very movie magic-ish, and a shortcut that I used was that I took a picture of them and I stuck it into a fabric doll that I had made, and I sewed it up, and I chanted their name 3 times with a candle lit over it. So just in case you feel like making a doll, you can try that. It's a little easier. But I found great results with that doll. And another thing is I use a universal doll, and what that is it's a doll that I created to a goddess named Newt. She's the goddess of the sky. I kind of see her as the universal mother, because if you read anything about her, she's an Egyptian goddess, which is a video I'm doing next. But if you read anything about her, she's kind of seen as the mother of all things, even though she has a mother. But in lots of Egyptian mythology or anything you read about her, there's something I read about her where she gave birth to the sun god, which is actually very funny because the sun god came before everybody else. But yeah, she's the mother of all things. She's the mother of you and me and such and such and such. And that's just my feeling. I mean, you don't have to feel that way because you don't worship my deities. But I do feel there are shortcuts. And my universal doll is one of them. And what I do is, after the work has been done with the person I'm using the universal doll for, is I'll cleanse it. I say, Newt, take this negative energy away from the doll. And because most of the time, if I'm using a doll, it's either for negative energy, or it's because I need somebody to I need to get a point across to somebody, and they're not listening to my words, so I send it to them through the doll. But I say, Newt, take this energy away from this person, away from this doll, and she takes the energy, and the doll is just like, and while I do this, I hold my hand over it, and I envision this sort of blue light coming from the universe, and just clearing away the black energy, and leaving white energy. And so when this is done, I just put the doll away somewhere where it's not going to be bothered because I also have a cat. And I get it out when I need to use it again. But cat, I guess there are shortcuts in what you do. I mean, there aren't shortcuts in what you do because, like, you have to go to the ocean and you have to give prayer. And I'm not saying that I don't go to the ocean. It's just that I live in Omaha, so I'm sort of landlocked. I mean, we have big lakes, but I don't really think they'd appreciate me throwing offerings into lakes, the city park, the state park, national park. So, yeah. Another thing is that, like, if you're really going to really try to use a shortcut, it should be a shortcut that you think is a good one. Like, you shouldn't just, like, use a shortcut just because you're lazy and you don't want to, like, I don't want to go buy black candles, even though there's, like, a store that sells them a block away. I'll just use a white one. No, that's just being lazy. You should go buy the black candles. Another thing is, it's also cheaper to use shortcuts sometimes, but I mean, like Kat said, magic isn't always cheap, and cheap doesn't necessarily mean better. Another thing is that my face is too close to the camera. Another thing is that, yeah, I'm picking right here. Another thing is that I'm not editing this either, so you always want to think about, like, you want to always think out of the box with your magic, especially if you plan on teaching other people. Because if you teach other people, you don't want them, like, you can give them an example. Like, I teach my friend Vicky. She wanted to learn how to read cards, and she wanted to learn other stuff too. So I started teaching her, and I was like, okay, well, if you're going to learn all of this, I'm going to teach you, but you can't copy my ideas. And Vicky is a very close friend of mine. I trust her dearly, and so we share a spell book. That's not because I wanted to have my spells. It's because I trust her enough that I know that my spells are safe with her, and she doesn't really have her own yet, so I just thought it'd be nice. Another thing is that cutting corners might mean that the spell won't work the way that you want it to. So let's say that instead of using a black candle, let's say instead of using a red candle for the red shirt I'm wearing, you use a green candle, which holds similar properties like in aspects of love and romance. But if the spell requires a red candle, I suggest you use a red candle. But if you're thinking of redoing the spell in a different way, so it's okay to use a green candle, then use a green candle. But if you're gonna do a spell straight out of a book and it says use a red candle, use a red candle. Don't use a different color candle, because I remember I did a love spell and it said to use a red candle, but instead I just thought I'd use a white candle because white candles are all purpose and I thought it would be fine. But the candle ended up being a lot stronger than I wanted. He became lovesick. And what I mean by lovesick is he became sick, and the next day he came back and we were talking. He came back to school, and I was talking to him, and it was like major flirting. It was just that. So, yeah. So don't cut corners unless you absolutely know that you have to, or you absolutely know that you can do it. There will be a video about Egyptian deities soon. Global Witches, I have a page called Connecting Deities. I think you all should follow me or join the group because it's really cool. We don't just talk about Egyptian deities and Orishas. We connect We connect the 12 major goddesses of Greece and Rome to the 12 major goddesses of to the Heliosis of Egypt, which is also going to be my Egyptian deity video because that's a big part. And we connect all deities together: the Celtic, the Roman, the voodoo. We connect saints. We don't just do certain gods and deities. And I know that connecting deities, it sounds like just deities, but if you want to post saints and other stuff on there, you can. This is like, I understand what Kat is saying because it's kind of hard when you don't have like a lot of participation from other people. But like, if you guys would really post, it like really help me out sometimes. And like, if you want to connect two gods and you don't necessarily know how to connect them, I can help because I've studied a lot of different orishas and gods and goddesses and from all different types of, like, I've studied Hindu gods, I've studied Egyptian gods, I've studied Chinese, Native American. And this is what I suggest. You study all these gods, and so that way you can find something that you really click with, and once you really click with them, you understand that you can work with them, and they can work with you, and that you have their back no matter what. It's like a friendship. Like, when you have a god or goddess that you truly understand, it's like having a best friend that you, like, know that you can truly trust. And so, yeah. So, bye, bye, bye.